Oh no, that's for anybody.
That's anybody.
Yeah, it works for you, Jim.
Elderly and real estate broker.
Yeah, can I get the over 55?
You get the realtor
I'm asked for the senior citizens discount.
You guys are making fun of me, but it shows up on your prelim. You'll be coming to me saying, "What's this all about?"
You do save money if you pay up front, obviously, because you're not
You
paying
don't
the
pay.
bond cost.
You don't pay interest.
But anybody can do the financing that's provided through the city. And then in addition to that, for someone who is elderly or has a financial cause, we do have a program to help them as well.
Oh, you do have a program.
Yeah, we do have a program for elderly or people who have trouble even covering the finance costs. So.
Okay, Judy.
And we just have to be aware of it, because if we're selling a property in one of these areas and that bond is on there, we need to be looking for it and resolve it as to who pays for it. The seller pays it off, we get to foreclose, or it's
Right.
taken over by the new owner. So.
Yeah, well, maybe Jack could, when it's Mr. Curtin, right?
Yeah.
When Mr. Curtin gets done, maybe you could bring up how people are typically handling that, or it might be interesting for us to discuss how people are handling that.
My understanding is, because I'm paying about $2,000 a year, included in my property tax. I'm in District 2. My understanding, if I hadn't paid it, if you don't pay it before, in the beginning, you really cannot, the interest is built into it, and you can pay it off. Let's say this year I'm going to pay you whatever's left. So we'll just pay it until property taxes, the 15 more years. It's over 20 years, basically.
Baked in. The
It's
interest
baked
is
in, exactly.
Yeah.
So once you're selling a property that is in the district, that's it. It's going to be part of your property taxes.
Right, and once we assign those parcel costs, there's usually a window of about 30 days where someone can
Pay it
make
off.
the decision to pay it off
Right.
up front or finance it.
Just ask you on your area 15, District 15, I don't see this done in other districts. You have kind of little wiggly lines around like you're skipping over a property or something. What is that?
The way the borders are determined, I mean, that's generally, I know that one was kind of a remix, because originally District 4 was over in this area, and I believe that one failed, and so they resurrected it, and at that time then the new district was District 15, and it was kind of a subset of the previous District 4. So yeah, I mean, when they...
Those were the people that didn't vote for it.
Right, they probably gerrymandered them out.
Like here on 6, it like crosses over Highland on a few.
Yeah, and a few of these,
few votes.
the reason for something like this would be just simply the way that the current overhead lines are. Like here, we had poles here that connect across the street. Well, if this is going underground, we can't cut that off until we get to a certain point. So it has to do with also the utility's ability to terminate and make other arrangements.
These slides are available on your website?
The overview map is available on our website. The District 6 stuff has its own page right now because it's very active. And like I said, that is updated every week, every Friday. And we'll be doing that for all future districts as well. The rest of the information is kind of static as far as the process. As we get more information on the revised costs and the progress for 12, 14, 15, the pages for those ones will be developed and updated regularly as well.
How long ago was that drawn? Like I'm looking at this one, exclusion, and I know that was probably a property that was sold in the last year or so. And I was just curious.
The
little section where you're leaping out the area on the boundary.
How long ago was that done?
Well, the map that you're looking at there was updated very recently.
Okay.
So the district boundary is not going to change.
Can I ask, are there any in the completed areas of like 3 or 13, I guess, anything else that crosses over Highland? Are there any other little cutouts like you have here going across Highland, or into where it's just a little odd block or anything that we might need to know about?
You know, on 1, 3, and 5, those are done, so there won't be anything else there.
Were there
Yeah,
any things that crossed, like you have those 3 things
right.
there?
I don't know off the top of my head, especially for those ones that were completed several years ago. But
That would really be helpful to know.
yeah, I mean, that's something I could provide, you know, give me an email or a call,
Okay.
and we could look that up.
Good.
Back to that hill section area, the whole area that Susan was talking about, that she like a boundary place where it comes, you know, it's a little jogging thing.
Mhm.
If the people in that area wanted to do something, can they be a part of the district?
The district boundaries are set right now.
Can't be altered?
So yeah, that's not going to change, and the designs are, you know, we're in the 11th hour. I'm going to do the final walkthrough with utility designers anytime.
So if you want to get a deal going and you send around a petition, then how do the boundaries get set at that time? Is that all the people that petitioned? Is that how you get to the
Right.
boundaries?
More or less, the boundaries are set by the residents who initiate that district.
Okay.
I think, I mean, that's the way it's developed. And then regarding a few of the, you know, outliers or ones
Yeah.
across the street, that usually comes up pretty quickly when we start meeting with utilities and talking about, okay, this is the district we want.
Right. Oh,
But,
then,
you know,
then
then suddenly
add them in. They add
suddenly
them.
we find, you know, 2 or 3
Uh-huh.
things on the fringe that have to be included as well.
So it could change. It could change based on that then.
It changes from the time the residents initiate it to the time the designs are started. But like I said, on 15, we're already so far along in the designs that it's not going to change anymore.
Jack. Just try it one more time. No. Jack.
I just wanted to say I had wanted the bond thing in Hermosa, and they just prorated it like they did taxes.
Yeah.
From one person to the next.
Okay.
It
That
just
would be
transfers.
way too
Yeah.
easy.
It just transfers automatically.
transfers
Yeah, they did.
That would just be too easy for Manhattan Beach. They can't handle that.
Well, I think a couple of years ago it was more controversial. Don't you agree, John? But now it's kind of like, oh hum, you know.
It's nice.
Diana, and then one more question after that.
I don't think a lot of people know, because I have property in what was District 13, and we worked for 2 years to get the 60% vote, which we did, and it went to City Council, and one council person voted it down. So, I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that once, you know, that that's a possibility down the road, because we thought that, you know, it would be a slam dunk and that the council would see that the majority of the district wanted it. So I don't know if those rules have changed, but that's problematic.
Well, I mean, it still would take a majority vote. I mean, I don't know who initiated that, but they still would make a majority vote, I believe.
Well, 3 out of 5, right?
There was one person was the vote that.
Swing vote.
Oh, swing vote.
The
Okay.
swing vote, yeah.
So.
And you know, that'll change going forward too, because we have one member right now who's termed out, another council member who may or may not seek re-election. So as the council changes,
Well,
that
the problem is the utility costs keep going up. So if we go back to square one, which is what would have to happen to re-petition and go through all of that again,
Right.
now people are looking at even higher costs.
right, the costs will go up, and I would say Edison has warned us that we're gonna. I believe the pricing is gonna stay the same for these districts, but on new districts going forward, Edison has informed us there'll be an administrative charge that will cover more of their expenses, and that will be dramatic. So I would expect costs to rise.
There you go, Lori.
Okay, last question.
This is better.
I live in District 4, that little one was 1915 that got voted out. And at the time that vote was held, the city didn't yet have a way to put it into property taxes over time. It was like, you're going to have to come up with $50,000 instantly, and that's why it failed. So if it was redone again today, it probably would have, but there's a big problem with that.
There are people, a lot of people who put many hours into getting these different districts to a lot of hours, but to get the different districts passed and that. And So if, I know a couple of them, and if you want to know how they did it and what the process was, be happy to put you in touch. It's a lot of man hours.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate it.